body needs for your sensory system. And that's about how you take in information.
Yes. Hindi
Yes.
makita ang video.
Ay,
So,
ano ba
you
yun?
told
Hindi
me,
pa ako nag-share screen, di ba? Ay, sorry.
you told me earlier,
Okay. I am in
you,
Safari. Sorry.
you like to swing,
I
right?
am confused.
Well, does that swing like
Better close this. Sorry. Present now. Let me open that again.
Alright, so what we're gonna do today is you're gonna help me figure out what your body.
Hang on. So this is how a typical facility doing sensory integration therapy or intervention for sensory processing disorders look like. I was supposed to interview another OT here in Iloilo who just opened his clinic. I don't know if you know him. And he has a very nice gym, pero hindi nag-pan out yung interview. I hope to record it tomorrow and then I'll just post it for your class just so you see that, it's something that can be done locally naman. You can have it built. But as you can see, what's important if you're doing intervention for sensory processing disorders, whether you're an OT or a PT is, well, you need a lot of equipment such as this one. Okay? This therapist is working with a child who has problems with dyspraxia. So she's also facilitating and making him plan the movement. What do you want to do? Rather than the therapist telling the child, oh, you do this or you do that. Okay? If you pay attention to her line of questioning, she would go, how do you think are we going to do that? So to target motor planning.
Needs for your sensory system.
Yes. Can you see that?
May
Lagi po.
na-click to exit full screen. Ang wala na
Oh, ay.
yung naka-blurred ang video sa likod.
Okay, dali lang Present now. Sana mag-work na to. There. Okay. Can you see it? Can you see it?
Ang balya man siya kung it's click to exit full screen.
Ganyan na lang.
Does that swing look good to you? Or does one of those swings look good to you? Well, can you help me set it up, please? All right, let's bring it over then. Let's bring it over. Part of therapy is for the student to have some heavy work or take responsibility for how to set up the gym for what he wants to do or she wants to. This one? Oh, you're going to have a very good sense of balance with that, my friend.
Okay.
Yeah. You think that's out of the way enough?
So you might think that setting up the equipment, that's just a small thing, and it's easier if you do it.
Can you push that back?
But in actuality, that can help your patient a lot in terms of motor planning.
The blue Lycra swing or that swing that's a disc swing? Which is it going to be? Oh, I think you're eyeing something else. That one? Let's do that one. All right. Book, please. Thank you, sir. Big thing is to respect Matthew and what his decisions are. Whoa. Can you hang on? He does have some issues with bilateral skills and balance and vestibular. That means when his feet are off the ground, sometimes he gets a little anxious. So I want to make sure.
Right. So looking at this activity, the child is on the disc swing. What kind of sensations is the child getting? Yes, vestibular. Okay, aside from that, what else?
Ang sight.
Proprioception.
Yeah, proprioception, as the child maintains an upright posture. Right? It's also a good activity for strengthening the core muscles.
He has the supports in place that he needs to be able to swing and feel regulated. He looks, by me checking in with his face, like he's doing pretty good right now. And you're keeping your balance really nice. He's working his core. Whoa! Are you on there still? I'm tired. Why are you? I'm tired. Oh my gosh, do you want to try it again and we'll count? Wait. Another big thing is to repeat an activity so we get an adaptive response. Try it one more time. What should we count to? Maybe I'll go. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, now what should we count to? Okay, maybe this. Okay, what are we going to count to?
So as you can see, even if the activity was chosen by the child, the therapist also made a way to prolong the activity so that the child gets maximum sensory benefit. But the child already walked away from the disc swing and said, "I'm tired." Okay, that's what they usually say because those activities really demand a lot from the core. But the therapist tried to redirect the child's attention so that he engages in it more.
How much? Up to 10? Okay, 1, 2. I'm going to facilitate movement a little bit more. 3, 4. He's doing great. 5. This is an adaptive response. He's doing better. You can see from his face. He's regulated. He's putting his head in a different plane. So he's getting a lot of information to his system. So that's a success for us in this gym.
Right? And then you can make this activity more complex by adding in components like he might have to shoot rings or maybe pick up objects. So aside from just maintaining this posture, there's already going to be an element of more movement. So that's how you can upgrade the demands of this activity. Yeah. Stop sharing. Let me. Here's another, but lest you think, medyo malaki siyang financial na investment, for you to come up with such equipment. But here is another perspective that is developing. This is what we call Timber Nook. It was also developed by an occupational therapist, but I understand that there are also physical therapists involved in this program. And while you see that, in the first video that I showed you, therapy is done in a gym, diba? In a fully equipped gym. Okay, here is a different perspective to that. So now people are discovering the importance of nature, and so some therapists have moved from sophisticated gym equipment to outdoors, to promote sensory processing. In the future, if some of you decide to work in the US or you become a school-based therapist or a pediatric therapist, this is one program that you can also get into.
I know what's wrong with you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Timbernook programming is very different than what you would find in a therapeutic clinic. Timbernook was designed for all children, so it's therapeutic in nature, but it's really designed to enhance child development for children across the board. Timbernook is a catalyst, really, to get children back outdoors, and it's an example not only to the children, but to the parents on how important and critical it is for children to be outdoors, moving their bodies and playing. We empower children, not by entertaining them, but by really stepping back and letting children take risks and to balance on things and to spin and to try new things You don't have to be afraid of a campfire if you're taught properly how to do it. And then the children really own that responsibility and they own that learning. And even though the adults are facilitating it, then they see, I can do this. This is awesome. I'm empowered. I'm a human being that can be respected for what I know, and I have strengths, and those strengths can be developed.
One pole. Look out, guys. Comes the big pole.
So here's an example of the trapeze swing, diba, na nature-based. In therapy, you would have to make reinforcements in your ceiling to be able to install a trapeze swing. But here, you just need trees and some ropes, and you're good to go.
Yeah, my turn. That is awesome, but also scary. It's really fun too. I like it. You know, two balls.
2 poles? Okay.
We really teach the counselors to really step back and to empower the children. The children decide what they're going to do with all activities that we present to them. Nothing is closed-minded. It's all open-ended. So Timberlake works on getting children moving, help to integrate their senses. It's therapeutic in design, and it teaches them how to play and to think in creative ways.
Let them go through nature and pick up things and, touch the pine cones and get sticky from the sap. And, that kind of stuff is great for kids. It gives them a chance to be kids in a world that tends to be too clean. It gives them a chance to be messy.
We're really giving children the time and tools they need to work on their balance, their strength, their imagination, and creativity, and all of that. And it's kind of enveloped into this little package called play. And the children feel like we're just playing, but it's really so much more than that. How do I know Timberlake works? I've seen the evidence. I've seen the actual changes in children over the course of a week. I've seen children get over their fears. I've seen children change in ways that were never predicted. I've seen them try things that they would have never tried before, such as climbing trees or playing with peers when that was actually a really hard thing to do, or going into a muddy puddle to catch frogs when they have a sensory defensiveness issue. And I've heard from parents saying, that's my son up in a tree, when they looked at the picture. And another mom say, are you serious? He's going barefoot? And then when she comes and he's barefoot and sees it for herself, then she knows that it's real.
Yeah. Okay. So just to show you that it's not limited to the clinic, there are a lot of opportunities in nature. I don't know, maybe one of you will want a Timber Nook franchise here in Iloilo, diba? Why not? Okay, so I think that ends our topic. Are there questions from the class?
Miss, I'd like to clarify something
Yes.
about inhibitory techniques po, like say yung quick eyes, tapping, light stroke. Do we use them as preparatory methods then?
Yes.
Or like
Oo.
incorporated po ba siya sa tinuro nyo kanina?
It's another approach, diba? There are different approaches.
Okay, get.
Is I think that's more rude. It's rude that uses those modalities, yung mga icing, ganyan. What I'm teaching you is part of bow bath, but this is more yung contemporary bow bath.
Bali po in the clinics, if I choose the rudes approach, I don't have to use the bow bath, or can I use them together?
Can you use them together? I think it's also a matter of preference. It's a matter of personal preference. Kasi like, ako but this is just me. There aren't really a lot of research on rude approach. That's why I don't use it. Because this is more mga traditional na mga motor approaches. As compared to like bow bath, especially yung contemporary bow bath, like the one that I showed, yung pre-practice natin, the bow bath, yung bow bath group, Kasi that's more Korean Korean po bath group. That's where I got my training. They have researches to back it up. But I find that there are some practitioners who still use rude, and that's okay if you see naman that it impacts your patient positively. It's a matter of personal preference rin. Pero ang importante kasi is, yun nga, you're sensitive also. Is this working for my patient or baka naman you're just going through the motions pero wala naman talaga siyang effect. Yun. And the thing kasi with mga medyo passive, like yung mga ganyan, yung may mga modalities, like icing, ganyan, is paano sa bahay? Diba? Parang, will the caregiver be ready to apply that? And kaya rin, kasi diba, you have to watch out for mga reactions, no? Baka may mga adverse reactions dun sa mga techniques. So, kakayanin ba yun ng caregiver? Would your caregiver have that competency? If the caregiver will do it at home. So, paano? Kung sa clinic mo lang siya gagawin, hindi siya madaling matatransfer sa house. Yun pa pala isang reason. That's why I don't use them.
Hello, Miss.
Yes.
Pwede ko lang, Miss, clarify, kaya na-confuse ko kagina. So, again, performed is ginobilize ang adductor muscles. Next is ang pelvis, then ang spine, Miss.
Yeah.
Tatlo siya bali, Miss.
Pelvis, your adductor, that's the part of your pelvis, pelvic muscles, diba? So, under pelvis, you do yung sa my adductors, targeting the adductors, and then yung the combination of abduction, external rotation, adduction, internal rotation. So, they're all for the pelvis, and then the other one is for the spine. Scapula and spine.
Okay, Miss, so bali, Miss, duwa siya. Ang adductor, nagdulong siya gapon sa pelvis.
Yes.
And solid, mas na-incorporate na siya nagabotang mata sa abduction and adduction.
Mm-hmm.
While for pelvis, for spine, Miss, ang ma-start sa scapula, then mapanaog na, Miss.
Yes.
Though gina-move into opposite direction, Miss.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Thank you, Miss.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Miss, I have, Miss.
Yes. Yes.
What are, Miss, the other activities that we could give sa child, Miss, other than putting, Miss, ang press, laging over, Miss, sa CP, Miss, kag sa yung Miss nga daughter, Miss. So what are the other, Miss, fine motor activities we could give sa child instead of like sa transportation nito, what other?
What else can you provide? Depending on the age of the child, so go back to what is appropriate, tapos what are the child skills. There are a variety of activities, but teka lang I think we have covered them. Saan ba yun? Kailan ba tayo nag-discuss nun? Like, you can do mga zoo pieces if you want to do bimanual activities. So, Lego blocks. What else? For kids who are more, who have higher, who are okay na with mga fine prehension patterns, you can then move on to spools like this, threading spools. But if you observe, this is high level na gidya because it requires high degree of eye-hand coordination. And what else? Think of activities like clay molding. With clay, you can do a lot of things. You can slice, you can use a rolling pin. So rolling pin, that's a basic manual task. Your hands are doing the same thing. And so that's good for symmetrical bilateral coordination. Slicing clay, that is asymmetrical bilateral coordination. And so think about everyday activities, even practicing with buttoning, zippers, coloring. You might, if you want to get into that, you can also do that. Maybe for those kids who are higher functioning. What else? I think we discussed this in our previous session. Picking up objects with tongs. Oh my goodness. So you can get these, or you can actually just tell the parents to use whatever materials are at home. So pwedeng mga ganito, like yung sa Sneaky Snacky Squirrel na game. Or yung mga regular tongs sa balay. What else? Clothespins. So they can clip pictures and hang them along a clothesline. That's for pinch strength. So you can you can take a toy and then actually target a lot of fine motor skills from them. Yeah. So medyo babalik kayo sa activity analysis. Ano bang mga prehension patterns yung napapractice if they do this particular activity? So here's another example. Okay. Yan. Does that answer your question, Gab?
Yes, Miss. But we should start, Miss Una, Miss, a uni manual task before proceeding
Yes.
to
You start with use manual grasping in midline, and then you do reaching, and then you can do more complex activities such as these. Okay.
Miss, noted. And then, Miss, last question, Miss. It's imperative, Miss, to do trunk rotation activities, Miss, no? Or it depends.
If you see that the child is already able to manipulate objects in sitting, no? Like on a low table, kung kaya na niya yung gawin with less assistance from you. Kasi kung syempre, kung hand over hand assist, kung sobrang tapos fully supported pa yung pelvis niya, you can't really expect the child to perform trunk rotation. But once you see that the child is progressing, na parang, I'm providing lesser assistance on the child now, parang I can take my hands off her pelvis, and then she won't need my support anymore, then you can challenge the child now by asking the child to do more trunk rotation. But, medyo duga yung treatment, ha? Parang baka you cannot really expect to progress in a few sessions. Sometimes you really have to keep on working. Puro lang kayo uni-manual lang muna, or puro lang kayo activities in midline, or pwedeng mga reaching arm's length lang. Hindi ka pa maka-expand beyond that, because progress can be slow. Okay, so it's not a requirement that you always do trunk rotation. Depends on the level of the child.
Thank you, Miss.
Right. Any other questions? Questions? Sige. You know what? What I did was, sige, you can ask more questions, but what I will do now is I'm going to show you a video of a demonstration of the lab exam. Diba? Last Monday, we had our lab exam. Someone emailed me asking when the lab exam results will come out. Some of the faculty are still manually rechecking. So, but our goal is their goal is to submit by tomorrow lunchtime. And then I hope to send them to you individually by tomorrow night. Basta before your final exam on Monday. Okay? Yeah. Tapos, so sige. Would you want to see that? Just so you know what is expected of you, I was able to find a patient, a child with CP, to do the video on. Wow. Wait lang ha. Where did I put it? It's not here. Wait lang ha. Sample about. There. Okay. So yesterday I asked one of our staff in church if I can take a video of an evaluation session with their child. So this is not the child has CP hemiplegia. Okay, so she's more high functioning than the kid that I showed you this morning, and I will try to. I wasn't able to do all of the activities dun sa lab exam natin. Okay, only a few, but just to show you how to go about it, how you can engage the parent while you are working with the child. In this video, um, I had to work with another kid. Yon, kasi hindi siya mag-ano sa akin, hindi siya magpalapit, yung original na client. So parang we had to look for a playmate for her pa bago siya mag-cooperate. So which is in stark contrast with Hannah, yung kanina, yung dun sa video, with the other PT third years, who easily warmed up to me. Kaya sabi ko nga, iba-iba siya. So parang kahapon, to shoot this 16-minute video, it took me about 2 hours. The first hour was all crying, and then we discovered okay pala siya pag may playmate. And even then, I wasn't able, another reason why I wasn't able to demonstrate all of the tests is because as you will see towards the end of the video, she was refusing again to be held by me.
Pastor Christ, good afternoon. Hi, Miss.
Can you hear it?
Hello, hi. Hi, say hi to the camera. So, thank you sa pag-grant sa request ko no, na i-video natin yung session namin sa this afternoon. Yan. So, dahil ito yung first time i-handle ko siya, yung mga activities na ibibigay sa kanya para makita ko yung mga skills and abilities niya. Ano ba yung mga areas na pwedeng matulungan siya ng therapy para ma-improve yung paggamit niya ng left hand niya at saka sa mga pang-araw-araw na gumamit. So, yung session natin today will take about mga 10 to 15 minutes lang. Okay? Sige. So, may mga times, siguro mamaya, na i-request ko na humigasin siya. No? Tapos may mga gagawin akong mga tests sa iya. Okay lang ba yun? Thank you. Open. Sige, open. There. Yan. May mga questions ka bago tayo magsimula. Okay lang naman. Sige. Okay. Ay, oo. Alam, 5 minutes. Okay.
So as you can see, I am keeping my distance from her because she's afraid of me. Unlike Hannah, who I got to sit on my lap kaagad, it's different for this kid.
Anong kinakain niya? Kasi kinakain sa water? Ay, may minus na tayo. Mamati na tayo. Sige. Miss, ang una natin, ang gagawin ni Tita, sige, saktan mo to. Ine-measure ni Tita ang head mo. Ang hands. O sige, ang hand mo muna. I-measure ni Tita ang hand. Gusto mo? Wow, tingnan na natin. Measure. Para pag big girl na, makabakal na kita ng watch, no? No, para you can tell time.
So, syempre, in the lab exam, you just race through the techniques, no? But in actuality, medyo, ano yung term? Daw ulu-uluhan mo pa yung bata.
Ano yun? 11 centimeters. Okay? Ngayon naman, i-measure ni Tita ang head mo. Ha? I-measure lang ni Tita ang head. Kasi ara lang si Mami sa likod, ha? Ara lang si Mama sa likod. So, Manday, i-measure ko yung head niya para malaman natin kumusta yung pag-develop ng brain niya. Okay? Sige, Miss, ha? Dili lang. Don't worry, hindi na magtapik. Okay? Palibot lang ni Tita, ha?
So according to Miss Ems, this is going to be taken 3 times, and then you take the highest measurement, right?
Isa pa? One more time, Miss, ha? Okay, dasig lang. Wait, para sa ground. Ay, back mo. Baka maluwag masyado yung ground. So, one more. I-high five mo si teacher. Wow, very strong. Also, ihap naman. Ang ihap. Tulong kay tita. Tulong kay tita. Wow!
So why did I do that? Because I want to get the feel of the strength of her upper extremities. Now I'm moving on to testing for spasticity of the upper extremity. Miss M's, I think yung test item was how to test for spasticity with the shoulder flexors, tama ba? But I did it with the elbow flexors because that's more of how we usually test for spasticity of the upper extremity.
Ngayon naman, kulang mo ni tita ang isang left hand mo, ang left arm, ha? Okay? Kulag-kulagon lang ni tita. Amo nilang misyo. Okay? Kaangay sige. So, ma'am, ang test na ito, gagawin ko naman para ma-check ko kung ano yung degree ng spasticity or yung panigas sa kamay mo. Okay, miss, relax lang mo na no? Okay, relax lang ha. Good. Good. Why? Ano si Harit na? The color. Hindi na make-up pa niya yung ano mo. Ang baby alive.
I don't know if you were able to catch that, but towards extension, parang I felt a catch, and it is really more difficult to move her elbow. Flexion, extension. There, that's the catch.
Yes, thank you. All right, good. Kumusta? Okay. Pahiga natin natin. Get mo plate ka Mr. Potato Head. Ha? Sige, tapos si Mr. Potato Head. Yan. Ano mga parts ni Mr. Potato Head?
So in a real evaluation session, while you're doing tests, you can give toys, but only one toy at a time, just to keep the child preoccupied, and so that the child won't feel so anxious during the session.
Mataktak na ang hiko niya. Ay, uha ba lang niya? Fix mo yan. Ang teeth niya. Next, please. Turn ka.
Okay, wait. I'm explaining.
Yes, Mr. Potato Head, ha? So, ma'am, ngayon, i-test ko naman yung reflex niya. Ang reflex is mga automatic na movement. Ibig sabihin, hindi niya yun nakokontrol. No? At kumbaga reaction niya yun sa mga unexpected movement. Okay? So, importante yun, parang chinecheck ko siya para matingnan ko kung kumusta naman yung balance niya. Okay? Sige. Play ka lang that, Miss, ha? Oh, no! No! May lipstick si ano? Ano yun ng dog mo? May name siya. Anong pangalan niya? Naku, mukhang toothbrush mo mamaya. I-clean lang natin, ha? Clean lang natin, okay? Sige. Okay? Relax.
Okay. So what am I doing there? What test am I doing there?
Backward parachute, miss.
Right, backward parachute. So as you can see, the displacement must be unexpected. And the position of my other hand is at the back so that in case the child falls, I'll be able to catch her. I remember during the lab exam, some of you did it very slowly that the child was able to anticipate the movement. So hindi talaga na-elicit yung parachute reaction.
Sige. Hard! Doon naglapta na ang lipstick sa daw. Okay.
What can you say about her sideward parachute reaction in that video? Does she have it?
Yes, miss.
Yes.
Yes, but it's delayed. Diba? So hindi niya agad na itukod because her hand was holding the toy. Pero yun nga, medyo mabagal din yung reaction niya.
One more. Naglapta na ang lipstick sa daw? Ha? Naku. Sige. Wow, gabatong hid siya, no?
Here, what will I do?
Pwede ka maulo. Hibutan natin sa ulan mo, Okay? Pwede ka kahiga.
In an actual evaluation session, it's ideal that you do all the tasks that can be done in a particular position at the same time so that you don't have to tell the child, you sit down and then you lie down and then sit down again. So hindi ko yun nagawa. Meron ako kaninang na-miss. Kaya parang pinabalik ko pa siya yata in supine.
Sige. Nailang, okay lang, kapalan mo lang si Mr. Potato Head. Nag-ano na siya? Kabalo na siya mag-try now. Okay. Sige. Alright. Relax lang, ha? Yeah. Okay. So, ngayon naman, Ma'am, i-measure ko, susukatin ko yung legs, ang kahabaan ng legs ni Misha. So, para ma-compare ko yung right, ang left side niya. Okay, left leg. Right? Mish, ito ulit, ha? Bigyan ni Chinikita.
So, when you're explaining the results of the test, you should address it to the parent. Okay, it would also be good. So it's not enough that you label, I am going to do range of motion testing. You have to explain a bit about what it is. And maganda rin sana if you can explain what purpose will it serve.
Ikaw ka maniga. Okay, relax lang yan, ha? Okay, ikaw man karon. Sige, dito ka. Lie down lang. Yes, wait for your turn, ha? Okay. Ay, excuse me. Pangitaan ko po si Dinesh. Okay, good way. Sa pihak naman, ha? Wow, there. Tingin mag-cross. Okay? Wait lang, Martha. Wait lang din. Okay, relax lang. Sige. Okay naman siya, dahil wala man difference sa yan nila. There. Mish, pwede ka ulit Pwede ka ulit kahigda. Huwag lang, higda. What, ha?
Or kaya ko pala siya pinahiga because the other kid wanted to have her measurements taken also. So, Misha sat down na.
Sige, ha? Okay. Si Mr. Potato Head, ibutan lang yung tita diri, ha? Diri lang. Okay, sige nga. Turn your head. Pakato ka, Mr. Potato Head. Ang head lang. Tulog ka silip man. Kulang butang, ha? Okay, pakato. Pulok. Turn head. Wow! Good. Okay, sige.
What reflex am I testing there?
ETNR.
ETNR. Do ginapunggan ko yung kamot niya, no?